Hey everyone, welcome to my very first Q&A video. So recently we passed 2,000 followers on TikTok, 1,000 here on the main YouTube channel, and even 100 on my secondary channel, which I can't even fathom that we are suddenly exploding like this. Like, you guys have been giving a lot of support and love lately, and I just wanted to thank you guys so much for that. Like, hell, while waiting for questions for this very video, we damn nearly already passed 1,100 on the main YouTube channel, and I'm legitimately kind of lost for words. Thank you all so much for your wonderful support. It's been insane to experience the kind of excitement that you guys have been showing the content that I've been putting out here on YouTube and on TikTok. To celebrate these milestones, I figured I would do a quick Q&A video with questions submitted from every corner of my community. That includes YouTube, the two YouTube channels, my TikTok platform, and the Discord server that I'm running, which there's a link in the description on this video if you guys want to join. You have to be 18 plus to join the Discord community, but go ahead and check that out if you have the time. Anyway, let's get on with the questions before I get way more sappy than I have to be. I'm new, so I have no clue what a good question would be in this situation, but I'd like to still toss you something. Spikes on shoulder pads. How do you do them? Like, do you just puncture them in, sew them into them somehow, or do you use glue to get the spikes to stay on what I assume is leather? Okay, so when I designed my original VTuber design, I guess, I didn't actually put a huge amount of thought into how spikes on top of, like, leather and reed patchwork would work. My main inspirations come from a few different directions, and I'm definitely not, like, a clothing designer or anything like that. Plus, Kinds, this VTuber, is really my first attempt at, you know, designing my own original character. Do not steal. So I actually didn't put a ton of effort or thought into how these spikes are supposed to work. But if I had to answer in a way that makes sense to Kinds as a character, it's likely just the spikes from his own body that are, like, stabbed through the actual armor work. That seems like something he would do. What god or goddesses would you like to meet IRL if you could, and what would you ask said god or goddess? Oh, that's a damn good question. Like, do I answer these questions as me, or do I answer them as Kinds the character? What's going on here? For me, personally, I think I would very much love to meet Loki or Odin, just because I want to learn from Loki's trickster ways. But also Odin has a lot of wisdom to share that I would love to get some insight into. So yeah, I think those are going to be the answer. What is your top 3 dream vacations? That's a damn good question. The one, like, I'm not the type of guy to, you know, want to travel to anywhere specific other than my lifelong dream of going to Japan. Like, real beef stuff here. And Akihabara one day. Just because it's every weeb's dream to go to specifically Akihabara. I would also really love to experience what it's like to go to a Japanese temple and pray the real Japanese way, you know what I mean? Me being dangerously close to sounding uncultured, but that's like my one dream vacation. Other than that, I really badly want to go back and try to go skiing again. I experienced that once as a teenager, IRL, and I thought that was a lot of fun. Back then I really badly wanted to try snowboarding as well, but I didn't have the practice back then. That's like the one thing I want to go back to experience again. It doesn't really matter where, I just want to try skiing again. Skiing and snowboarding specifically. Third, I don't really know, honestly. Like, I guess just kind of travel around for content creation purposes. Like, go to cons, meet up with other content creators, getting to meet other VTubers IRL, that sort of thing. What is your biggest goal in 2026? I want to have goals, but I also don't want to be, like, totally, you know, unrealistic about it, you know? I think my biggest goal when it comes to this, I guess, like content creating in general, is I want to hit partner on every platform. That means TikTok, YouTube, and Twitch, I guess. I also really badly want to get to certain subscriber milestones. I think my ultimate goal in 2026 is to... Actually, I know exactly what the biggest goal for that is. Make my own first original song. I've done a few cover songs every now and then over the past, I want to say, 2 years. If I got my own way when it comes to my content creating, it would be to publish my own, like, original song one day, complete with original art and everything. So yeah, I think that's the biggest goal in 2026. What's your favorite epic song over all sagas? I mean, that's like... That's like asking me to pick between my children. I feel like, like let me look up the song list real quick, cause like I have trouble just picking my favorite saga in that musical, much less a favorite song. You know what I mean? I think I like the first 2 sagas the most in the entire show, but if I had to pick one specific song, it's either Legendary from the Wisdom Saga, or It's No Longer You from the Underworld Saga. Those 2 are so f***ing good. And Telemachus does such a great job with his vocals in Legendary, so I think those are gonna be the 2 ones. Not being mean, but who the hell are ya? The Viking vibe is cool. I'm an up-and-coming VTuber. My name is Kynes. I've been VTubing for the last, like, I want to say 5 years. I think I started in January of 2020, like right before COVID really started to fuck everything up. And it's been a creative outlet for me ever since. Right now, I'm mostly doing short-form content, mostly because I'm getting used to the work hours involved with a part-time job. But I've been struggling a little bit over the last couple of years on trying to figure out what my identity, or I guess my brand as a VTuber is. But yeah, I hope you guys will follow me on that journey. First off, congratulations on the milestones. Secondly, explain the name. There's not really much to explain, honestly. Kynes is really just a name that I came up with on the fly. But the last name, the surname that I've been given is Nidhugson, which is partially inspired by Norse mythology and partially inspired, I should say, by how the Vikings, or people in general, used to name their children back in like the Viking age. So it's actually pretty simple. You basically take the first name of the father, and when it's a son, you put son on the end of the name. Or when it's a daughter, the way of doing it is to put datir, or daughter, or datter, at the end of the name. So, in my case, my last name is Nidhugson, because I am the son of the dragon Nidhugg from Norse mythology. It's pretty simple, actually. I decided to become a Viking with my 2.0 design, and thus I figured, hey, if I need a new name and a new identity, I might as well name myself after a character in Norse mythology. And the only real dragon character in Norse mythology is Nidhugg, who is the character or the dragon, I should say, who is gnawing at the roots of Yggdrasil, the life tree. He's not considered an outright evil character or anything. He's just a character. He's just someone who's there, which I really like about Norse mythology in general. Yeah, no. To get back to... I got on a tangent there, but yeah, no. Nidhugson is basically just the son of Nidhugg. That's basically how I got my last name. When am I feel like that's a question for other platforms. Let's just say that it's gonna happen sometime soon. Okay, bye! How do you find satisfaction in life? Hanging out with friends, doing content, and generally just going with the flow. Everyone's lives are different, obviously, but my life is a fairly simple one outside of content creation. I wake up, go to work, and do my best every single day, you know? I find satisfaction through my creative endeavors, through my singing content, through my general content creating, and just, you know, hanging out with friends, family, loved ones, that sort of thing. That, and I find it very life satisfying to hanging out and, you know, interacting with you guys, so thank you for that. Did you make your V character yourself, and if so, how? If not, who made it? It looks amazing. What does the design stand for, as in the horns, elf-like ears, and outfit put together? Is it your OC? Yeah, I guess it's it's my OC in a kind of way. Like, the V character itself, like my model and everything, is not made by me. The art is made by Rico-chan on VGen and Twitter, and the rigging is done by Idris Art on Twitter and VGen. They are who I consider my model parents. The original design concept and the concept art that I got commissioned originally is made by an artist named K-Chap on Twitter. I'm not sure if they have a VGen as well. I might want to do a little bit of research on that, but these three people are basically the people who helped me, you know, put this VTuber character to life, I guess. I came up with the concept or the original idea for the design myself, but basically I just took a bunch of reference photos and tried to, basically incorporate the different design ideas that I have into my lore and stuff like that, which I might tell you guys about later down the line, but yeah, no, I came up with the concept itself, but K-Chap helped me bring that concept to life, and then Rico and Idris helped me actually make the actual model, so thank you all so much for helping me. Jeg elsker vikinger sindssygt meget, og vil bare høre, om du selv var viking, eller tror på de norske guder. Jeg tror på de norske guder. Jeg ser ikke mig selv som værende en viking på nogen måde. Jeg er ikke nogen viking på nogen som helst måde, men jeg tror på de norske guder. Jeg er lidt paganist, eksperimenterer en lille smule med paganisme, men jeg er ikke hårdt inde i det på nogen måde. Kommer du til Comic-Con? Tror jeg da i hvert fald, det skal sige. Ikke i år. Jeg håber på at komme til Comic-Con både i København og i London næste år. Nu hvor jeg rent faktisk har et deltidsjob og en måde at skaffe penge på, der ikke bare er kontanthjælp, så kan jeg rejse lidt mere, end hvad jeg er vant til. Så jeg håber på at tage til nogle forskellige konventioner i næste års sæson. Om det så er både her i Danmark eller i resten af verden, er jeg ikke sikker på, om det er mere end bare Comic-Con, men jeg planlægger helt sikkert at tage til Comic-Con i København på et tidspunkt. Why did you become a VTuber, and who is your favorite VTuber? Okay, so I became a VTuber because it looked like a really fun and super cool way to express yourself while also keeping your identity mostly private. Also, me playing, quote-unquote, playing a character online lets me 110% be myself without the fear of judgment or rejection, I guess. Some of my favorite VTubers would be some of the Hololive VTubers like Raura, Fuamoko. I really like Calliope, Mori Calliope, but I mostly follow English-speaking or English-based VTubers like Centrea, Matara. Tricky is my absolute Oshi, Tricky Wee. She's my Oshi, and I look up to her so much. She's got such a cool style and such a... I think the way that she doesn't really fear rejection or judgment despite her being loud and herself is incredibly inspiring, and I want to be exactly like her one day. But yeah, I mostly follow English VTubers like Matara, Centrea, Tricky, Megalodon, Papa Mud. I just recently followed Heavenly Father. He's really, really funny. Although I will say, Tricky is the only one I usually try to catch her live streams of. I'm not a huge live stream watcher, but I try to watch Tricky's streams whenever I can. Can you have a valid crash out, and when did you have it last? Okay, so those of you who don't know, I struggle with autism, which I find it hard to find the words to describe it, but it's basically when I get when there's a lot of sounds and sensorial or sensory impressions all at once, I can get very overwhelmed, and especially when something is incredibly unfair or unjust, I can get very emotional about that, and I do have emotional outbursts and stuff like that due to my autism. It's something I've gotten a lot better at controlling and handling on my own without having outbursts, but it's basically like I start pacing, I start swearing a lot, I genuinely rant a lot when I get these outbursts. And I get loud about it as well, which is a problem that I've been trying to take control over. I can definitely have valid crash outs. But the important part about these crash outs is how you decide and how you get used to controlling them so that they don't have a negative impact on your surroundings. Because unfortunately, they can get violent, they can get loud, and have a negative impact on the people around you, which is a important part to get down correctly. So yeah, no, absolutely, I get these all the time. But I've gotten better at controlling them, and I don't want to say coping with them, because I am getting to know myself to a point where I can kinda know in advance how to get through them without getting violent or whatever. But yeah, no, it does happen. How old are you? In lore, I'm over 2,000 years old, but in real life, I'm in my 20s. What was your bi-awakening moment? God, that is a great question. I realized I was bi relatively early on because I was curious about guys as much as I was girls at around my age. I remember having my first gay experience at, I want to say 10 or 11. And I'm not going to go into details about that. Don't even ask. But yeah, no, my bi awakening moment is generally just I thirst for anime character, like male anime characters all the time, and I think my first male anime character that I genuinely thirsted for was Shun from Bakugan, which also directly translates into my head over heels crush for Shao from Genshin Impact. But yeah, no, my first bi awakening moment was when around like 10 or 11 in real life, where I had my first gay experience. Favorite game from your childhood, teenage years, and adulthood? I remember being completely obsessed with Pokemon as a kid, and there's also this one RPG called Magical Star Sign that I put hundreds of hours into. It's for the Nintendo DS from what I remember. Those were my favorites from my childhood. In my teenage years, I spent an obscene amount of time playing Black Ops 2 because that was my favorite shooter at the time. And in adulthood, I generally tend to play Souls-likes and gacha games, especially Elden Ring, Dark Souls, Genshin Impact, Star Rail, Zenless Zone Zero, and most recently Withering Waves, and this little game called Wizards Variants Daphne. What are you most looking forward to in the next few months? Well, Christmas is coming up, as well as my birthday in January. I hope to have a re-debut ready by then, but it's not a 100% certainty. Next, I just look forward to saving up for a new PC. The one I'm using right now is 10 years old, so I'm in right time for an upgrade. In general, over the next, like, I want to say 7 or 8 months, I'm going to be saving up for a new apartment as well. So generally speaking, there's going to be a lot of, like, personal life things that are going to be changing for me. I also hope to save up for a driver's license and a car eventually, but that's a far off in the future thing, I think. Pineapple on pizza. Look, pineapple on pizza is fine. The whole debate is getting kind of old at this point. If you ask me, you need to go after the people who put tuna on their pizza. Now that's a fucking food crime, alright? Favorite Pokemon? Torterra, all the fucking way. Like, I remember that Turtwig was the very first starter that I ever picked, and he's just been my homie ever since. It's a nostalgia as all hell, but he is my favorite every single time. Favorite Digimon? I've never played Digimon actually, but the gun guy looks pretty cool. Favorite scary movie? I want to say the newer It movies, like with Pennywise, from 2017, I believe? I also really badly want to watch the Final Destination and all the Saw movies though. Favorite food? Anything meat. I love a good pizza, I love a good burger, but there's also this one dish in Danish called pølseret, which is a deviation from the Swedish pølseret, but without the potatoes. It's basically just pasta, tomato cream sauce, and sausage bits. It's so damn good, and it's been something that my family has been making for 3 generations now. The original recipe for Danish pølseret was invented by my grandma on my mom's side, who then taught it to my mom and my aunt, and they then taught it to me and my brothers. And I absolutely, if I ever get kids one day, I do plan on teaching them how to make it as well. First game you ever played? I think the first memory I remember for video games would be Pokemon Emerald, I want to say. Yeah, no, Pokemon Emerald for the original Game Boy. Do you wear wigs? No. Have you worn wigs? Maybe. I don't remember. Will you wear wigs? Maybe. I don't remember. When will you wear wigs? If you took all the fish out of the ocean, how much do you think the water level would decrease? I don't fucking know. Like 69? I don't know. Favorite song from a game? The first thing that comes to mind is Funeral of Flowers from Fire Emblem Three Houses. Favorite song from an anime? God, that's a really fucking good question. The one that comes to mind is the first or just all the OPs for Sword Art Online, because they were the original anime that got me into anime in the first place. Favorite anime? Clannad and Sword Art Online. Those are the 2 first shows that I ever watched, and they originally got me into anime in the first place. Favorite show or movie? I'm really into Boku no Hero right now. Attack on Titan is goated. Blue Bloods, a American cop series. And when it comes to movies, I really like the recent Superman movie from this year. What's your favorite type of pasta? Regular? The kind that doesn't get straight when it's wet? I don't know. Why? More like, why not? If you could cosplay a character flawlessly, who would you want to cosplay? D-Luke's alternate skin. Weapon and all included. Will you do a Pokemon Smash or Pass? What kind of VTuber or furry would I be without doing a Pokemon Smash or Pass? I'll probably make it a donathon or subathon goal at some point, but yes, I will definitely do that. What are some goals or things you want to achieve or do in the future? I already kind of talked about this, but some things that I really badly want to do is... One day I want to play video games with Centrea or Tricky Wii specifically and kick their asses. This is a challenge if you guys are watching. I also one day want to do the very first VTuber concert in Royal Arena in Copenhagen. That is like my ultimate way Delulu goal for the future. I also want to do my own clothing line one day. I am currently working on a punk design for my VTuber that has like this jacket on that I really badly want to make real one day. But yeah, this is the few ones that I can come up with right now. When can I kidnap you for some games? Currently, I'm really in the mood for Remnant and my current endeavors are insufficient. Yeah, you know what? I'm so sorry for pushing that back a million times, Hatanashi. As soon as my computer stops working up and as soon as my job stops giving me 33-hour on average work weeks. What was the hardest challenge for you in reaching these milestones? I think I want to say my fear of failure making me be inconsistent with content. Basically, I was so afraid that my content would fail outright that I never really bothered doing content consistently. And that is like the content killer or the outreach killer, especially when you're a small creator like I am. For a very long time, I struggled with being afraid how people would perceive me or whether or not my content would fail before I even had a chance to post any of it, which was how I just kept myself from posting consistently a lot of the time. But I seem to have gotten over that pretty well, at least for now. What's your biggest inspiration as a content creator? Other creators, my friends and family motivating and supporting me through my endeavors. You guys' reaction to my content. It feels amazing whenever people, have feedback or just generally interact with my content overall. And I guess the final thing that inspires me is just this teeny tiny little flame of hope that I get to make it big with my content one day. But it's especially my friends, my loved ones, and just you guys, cheering me on that inspires me to do my best every day. Alright guys, I think that was it for the questions for today. I have been recording for over half an hour now, so I'm gonna get going. Thank you guys again for all the questions. Thank you for all the support that has brought us here. I want to keep making you guys proud, and I have major plans for 2026, so I hope you guys are excited for that. I'm currently working on finding artists to help me with a re-debut. The outfit that I was talking about earlier, the punk outfit, is complete and fully rigged, and I hope to have a song cover ready for a re-debut in January as well. So hopefully we actually make that in time. But regardless, thank you guys so much for all your support, all the love, and I hope you guys are ready for all the big plans that I have got going for 2026. So thank you again, and I will see you guys in the next video.